have music going. Sorry, I'll turn the Alabama Shakes off. Okay, everybody, welcome to episode 10. Woo! We got one more month.
One more month.
Till our closing season 1 party. That's all I'm ready for now.
That's all you want is a party.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been invited to that podcast.
We are thinking about doing it live, doing like a little live segment.
It was mentioned.
She's a little nervous about it.
No, I'm fine. What do you mean?
I'm fine.
Okay, Raven, this is a special episode because you are sitting here today with not one, not two, but 3 Sarahs.
Should I change my name to Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah.
For this
Today.
episode?
Yes.
Okay.
Does everyone
Got
have
it.
an H?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course we have H's.
Okay.
I'm not complete without
You don't?
H.
No, I have an H.
Okay. Of
course she does.
Y'all all have an H?
Three.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So what are we going to talk about today? How much everybody loves Ocean Springs
Yes.
and all the great things we're doing here.
So, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest?
Okay, this is Sarah Posey. She is a Mary C. partner. She's an art teacher, an artist. She's getting involved in our history museum expansion, which I'm very excited about.
I'm trying to get my talons into everything.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You just kind of come here and get invested and submerge yourself in all the ways. But she's a new partner. We're super excited about her. She's got good energy. She's super educated, thank God. And what? It's really nice to work with educated artists. They know a lot of things and can be super helpful in all the
That
ways.
could have been super offensive.
It's not offensive. This is not a hobby. This is serious, real business.
This
These
is
are
the first-
creative careers.
This is the first time someone's been really excited that I have a painting degree.
Well, that is what I'm for in this life. I support you guys.
To be your cheerleader.
Look, it's so much more than knowing how to paint. It really is.
True.
But Sarah Posey, give us a little moment about yourself, and then we're going to move on to Raven Sarah, who I also love.
Yeah, like you said, I'm Sarah Posey. I'm a painter. I teach here. I teach at the Senior Center in Pascagoula. I might be teaching at the Walter Anderson Museum at some point.
She's just getting going.
Nice.
She's going to be all over this place.
My life goal is to start a artist residency / artist commune / green burial ground.
Yes.
So I've got to get land at some point for that, and convince people to let me start burying them.
There?
Yes.
That is... We're going to have to dive into that one.
And also, all of my art is about Western death culture. And I'm teaching a class on that.
Yeah.
Well-
Which we are excited about.
Memento Mori.
Okay, there was an episode that I mentioned. Hey guys, you know what happened to me today? This partner asked me if we could have a program about death.
I remember. This is her.
Yes.
This is she.
And she's just like so delightful. I'm like, I'm open to this. Let's talk.
Tell me
you.
more.
Okay, more on that later. Sarah Harris.
All right, so my guest is Sarah Harris, who is the city's project manager. But Sarah has also lived in Ocean Springs all her life. She literally grew up down the street from City Hall. And so, Sarah, you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Randomly to tie the two Sarahs together, I grew up across the street from the graveyard.
Oh,
I like where this is going. I don't know why.
Another random thought of knowledge, you need at least an acre of land to create a cemetery. Just to know that.
See, you're here for a purpose today.
So
Yeah.
I'm Sarah Harris. Like Raven said, I grew up in Ocean Springs my entire life, literally across the street from the graveyard downtown. And I have an engineering degree. I'm now the city project manager. I was a city engineer for Biloxi for several years. And so I deal with a lot of construction and a lot of infrastructure that people get very mad about. But it's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
So
She deals with all the things that we can't see, like
Yes.
below ground, but that is very important.
your water, your,
Your sewer.
My favorite part of when you started your job was what you asked the mayor if you could just wear like boots, jeans, and bring your shovel to work every day.
Well, in my
That-
interview, I
was like, I like her.
I was dressed up, of course, for an interview, and then I asked them that if they need me to dress like a girl, they need to tell me. Because I go to construction sites, so I'm in steel-toe boots, I'm in jeans.
Gotta be taken seriously out there.
So
Being
I
a little
can't be
skirt
in a
and
dress.
some boots.
Yeah, they would throw us away, Raven.
don't get me wrong, I don't wear that stuff anyway outside of work, but
I know it was a lot of work just putting lipstick on you on Christmas party.
that's right. I remember that.
I don't know why you let me do that to
I
you.
think it was close to my birthday.
You were feeling it.
You were feeling it.
And then we put it on. And it was like a whole new Sarah.
she had her hair all
I had
down
my hair
and
down.
straight.
I never wear my hair down either. So
All right, so my name is Sarah.
your name for today is
My name
Sarah.
for today is Sarah Raven.
I kind of like it.
I kind of like it too.
There's a ring to it.
Cool.
All right, so let's dive in. So Raven and I always bring guests on who are doing something big for the city in some way. So we always have city and culture guests, and we want to know about what you're working on right now that you're passionate about for the city of Ocean Springs.
You me first. So I am super excited. We got funding to go do sewer downtown, which is very random to be excited about, but it is the oldest infrastructure in Ocean Springs.
How old is it?
Good question. I would have to refer to some people who've been here.
Is it older than us?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Absolutely. It's probably 40 years old.
And you're about to be 33.
Why?
So
Look,
I just wanted to everybody to have a reference.
put a female out there like that. Okay.
I'm 40. I'm the oldest one
really
probably
about
at the table.
What
so don't
age you
worry
look,
about it.
not what age you are, and also what age you feel. So I'm like, 17, like feeling, and then like, they say, look, I got asked out by a 21-year-old last week.
And what was his name?
Wish.
Weird. Go ahead. Talk about your sewer.
Anyway,
Going from Sarah's
Oh.
dating to Sarah.
back to the Ocean Springs sewage, everybody.
So the interesting thing about downtown is there's a lot of sewer mains under current buildings in locations that cannot necessarily be replaced. So we're hoping to line it, which is kind of, I call it churching it up, making it nicer. But there are some situations that we probably will have to relocate, like reroute, which is going to be very interesting if you're any familiar with downtown. How
Isn't
we
that
don't
already
have room.
happening though? Like, aren't y'all moving the sewer lines right in front of the buildings, like under the sidewalks, or is that not what's going on? I
No,
don't
that
know.
is utilities. That's
Oh, okay.
that's cable and gas companies. They're boring new lines for fiber and stuff like that. That's not
That's
us.
not even us.
It's not us.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead and apologize, people watching.
Yeah, right.
That is
We have not been
us.
busting up the sidewalks. That was someone else.
But so I'm gonna release a pretty large work order here today, probably, to start assessing the sewer lines to see which way we have to go. We're gonna rehab some pump stations, which y'all are probably like, I don't know what you're talking
So
about.
who's the sewer consultant? Who do you call to assess the lines?
There's companies that, so we have an annual bid for quite a few items we're going to use on this project, like a CIPP lining contract. We have a video and cleaning contract. We're hoping to open a maintenance contract today. And then we'll have a consultant engineer on the side to help kind of oversee the pump station work and stuff like that. But basically, the people who don't know about sewer, when you flush your toilets, when you wash your clothes, do your dishes, anything that goes down your drain, like that all goes into the sewer system. And we have to travel it out of Ocean Springs. And then it gets, treated by JCUA, which is Jackson County Utility Authority. So there's a lot of process that people don't see that affects your daily life. So when your toilet doesn't flush, it's a big deal. But when you see us tearing up roads to fix the sewer, you freak out. But it's
an
all tied together.
inconvenience,
It is inconvenience. I
So
mean,
was this project your idea to start looking into?
so I think the city has had in the plans to assess their whole entire system across the city limits.
Well, what makes it exciting for you then?
Because it's almost a mystery. Like,
Okay.
this is old pipe. We don't even know where half of it's located. Like, we've already dealt with a couple residents downtown that are tied together. Like, their services run across private property instead of directly into our sewer line. And then we don't have a sewer main to accommodate them in the road. So it's kind of it's like a puzzle piece. So that's cool to me. I'm all about hands-on seeing things. So I'm excited about that.
I like that.
It's very weird
See,
to be excited over sewer.
No, it makes me feel confident in our city that someone like you, who's working on it, is excited about it. That's the most important part, is that you're excited about it and you know what you're doing.
Well, I joked with Raven a long time ago, or when I first came on, I said, it's weird when you don't understand some of the stuff. And then when people talk to you about it, you'll drive through the city. Like I was talking about curb and sidewalk for a long time because we're trying to get that project kicked off too. And I said, wait till the day you drive home and you're looking at sidewalk and curb and you're like, oh, that's what she was talking about. Or I need to tell Sarah about that because it needs to be addressed. So it's cool how when you don't know things and then people tell you and then you actually figure out, like you see it.
I completely understand that, because coming in as the arts and culture coordinator for the Mary C, and then I sit down with you guys, the department heads, once a week, hearing all of, what y'all are dealing with. My life over here, very different than what you guys are dealing with, but it opens my eyes. And so like anytime that I'm going for a walk on the beach or taking my siblings to the park or whatever, I'm like looking at all the different things I can call any of you department heads about, be like, hey, I saw this big pothole on the way to the park, and then then the sidewalk, it's like cracked and we might need to like shave that down a little bit, and it immediately fixes the problem just by word of mouth like that. So I am now, my eyes are open in that way too. So I understand.
Well, I'm
that.
glad you said sidewalk, because we do have a huge front beach sidewalk project kicking off too.
Yes.
To fix a lot of that. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, something viewers are not going to know are how good of friends you, Raven, and Sarah Harris are. You guys, your offices are right next to each other.
It is.
And so
City Hall.
again, it's like another level of crossover of interest, right? So like, Raven and I were just going on last time because we sort of asked guests who should have been like, my guest should have been her guest and vice versa. But, we're starting to unify in sort of what we're doing and talking about.
She stole my guess.
I was trying to make it a nice thing, but we can go back to being at odds. It's cool.
Unify.
Okay. So anyways, but I'm just saying, like, that does begin to happen.
Yeah.
Because these personalities and relationships start to cross over. And so that's got to be happening between you guys. Like, what she's dealing with, you're getting interested in, and vice versa. And then, with you being PR for Ocean Springs now, that's got to be a good way to kind of come in and talk her language to the community in a way that they can relate to and get excited about sewage again.
Well, it's inevitable. I mean, working in the mayor's office as the mayor's assistant, I'm in different worlds all the time. And she has such a big, the mayor's always about the projects.
He's always about some projects.
He's always about some projects.
Let's just spill that tea for a moment. I'm just kidding.
And it's her job to make sure they're moving and that we're paying and that we're getting the right people. And then we talk constantly about, well, how are we going to communicate this to the residents or the business owners, who it's going to affect, and just being transparent. So we talk nonstop about everything. And, she's also been a great resource, just throwing things at the wall. Like, well, it's just a different perspective. Like,
well, she's an engineer, so she's always thinking about how to fix things
and how it might go wrong.
How it works and how you maintain it. That's
I try to see both sides.
She
I
does.
try to justify the good of every situation, and sometimes the bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I annoy them with it, but I still throw it out there.
But we don't stop asking your opinion.
Don't worry about that. I don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Sarah Jane.
Okay, so another thing that we always like to see is when our guests start to find common ground. So Sarah Harris is an engineer. She deals with all these things and all these relationships and people all day, but she's working on designing and projects and seeing them through and all, So the meetings and the dealing with folks and going on site and all that, that's not even the main job.
Right.
Making sure it's done correctly and to code and it's like approved by the board, all that's like the main job. So Sarah Posey, I know that you probably, you're in your studio, you're working on your artwork, you're starting to like form programs for classes that you want to teach. Then you get into the classroom and you're actually dealing with the students and you're dealing with the organization that you're facilitating your programming in. So there are connections of how like our days can actually align in so many ways. So can you tell us what what's the hardest part? Is it making the art? Is it selling the art? Is it teaching art? Is it dealing with young artists? What's like your challenge in your career, in your workday?
Well, my favorite part, which is not the hardest, is coming with the doing the ideation for the pieces and figuring out the themes that I want to work with. The hardest part of the painting is the middle part where it looks completely horrible for like days. And you have to just push through it and be like, I know it looks like a foot, but it's a face. And then teaching, getting over the stage fright of talking to people about things.
But after you've done it a couple times and you realize like their interest is piqued, doesn't that get exciting?
Yeah, I like being able to have answers for people when they have questions.
I feel
We
that.
are so
Yeah.
much more alike than you think. That's like a construction project. Like it's great, and then you're in the middle of it, and it's terrible. It looks awful.
Yep.
But at the end, you
There's
may have
no
a
sidewalk.
And
exactly.
you're like,
There's
and you're
no
like
sidewalk.
promising
There's
the
no,
mayor, I promise it's not gonna look this bad. Like I
It's
know
gonna
it's
be
costing us
better.
a lot of money and it looks horrible. But
Yeah, and then at the end, it's kind of like it looks like a foot, but it's really a face. That's a perfect.
it will be a
example.
bridge.
Yeah,
It will be.
it will be
a
beautiful
bridge.
in the end. I promise.
My parents are both engineers, and they always said I should have been a chemical engineer. So
My dad's an engineer.
I don't.
What about you, Raven?
Nope, nobody. No engineers.
Your
Oh,
friend is.
my bestie's an engineer.
What about me? Yeah, but okay, fine.
You can have more than
engineer.
one.
I am in my own way. I build furniture. I engineer
that's like a
smaller
carpenter.
objects. Well, I'm not really a carpenter. I don't claim to be a carpenter. I'm like a digital carpenter.
all
Everything's made
ties
on the
together.
computer and cut by robots. I'm afraid of blades. I'll just be honest. What?
Fun fact.
It's true. I've watched many of fingers get cut off in my day. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I've,
So
I've
lessons
driven
learned.
with fingers not attached to parts many times. So not they weren't my fingers.
I have all
That's
your
good.
fingers.
Just so everyone knows.
So Sarah Harris.
Confusing.
So you've lived in Ocean Springs all your life, and you've kind of watched it transform into what it is today, and now to be working for the city and being able to be involved in that. Kind of tell us, like, what do you see the future of Ocean Springs being? Like, you're working on all these projects that the mayor has you on. How many
Evil
projects?
laugh.
I think we're at 17
17.
active, and then we have a couple pending.
17 projects for our small little town. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But so tell us, like, what do you see the future of Ocean Springs being? You know we have to move and grow to the east. Like, what does that look like in your world?
So, a little backstory. So, I grew up here, obviously. So, I went to East Elementary, which is now Oak Park. And it was called East Elementary because it was the furthest school east in Ocean Springs, which is
What?
on Holcomb Boulevard.
Yeah.
So just some perspective for people who haven't lived here. And I actually went to the 6th grade at Tacony, right behind us. And we had anything with an auditorium was done here, the Mary C. And ironically, my parents, this was the high school, like very weird to say, but yeah. So anyway, seeing everything develop east and go, I remember when the hospital was the furthest thing east, and now that's like the middle of the city.
Right.
So I
That's
see,
That's wild.
yeah. So I see with all the projects and my site for Ocean Springs. So another backstory, my dad retired from the city. His dad, was unfortunately killed in an accident working for the city. My aunt retired from the city and she came back and did contract work for the city. So we have a lot of people that have been involved in the city my entire life. And so seeing it, I would, obviously I would like to see we're clustered downtown. It's great that we're getting a lot more developments. I completely see big developments start coming in the east. I just know it's going to take like one big, I was hoping for a Sam's, but we're not going to get that. Like at the corner of 57 and 90, like once.
That's where I live.
Yes, very close. So once things like, I think a big organization or a huge shopping center, it's going to take something a little
The
big.
sportsplex is out there, which feels like more hotels will pop up out there. We got Aldi close to us.
Yeah. So I'm thinking when that starts developing, and I have a lot of fun plans for the 57 ballpark too. That might be dreams, but we'll see where that goes.
That's
So I
literally
have a
across the
lot, I grew up here. I stayed at local colleges because I didn't want to leave here. I live here. I don't plan on going anywhere. So it's nice to now work here and be a part of what's going to happen, and maybe have some control in it. And I know utilities aren't that huge of a thing, but it's nice to understand it. And then as developments come in, you can help them, like, yes, we do have capacity for this, or hey, we need to do this to create capacity. So that's kind of how I see things going. I know things will move further east. It's just going to take that big development, that people learning that 57 exists. I always say
Right.
it's kind of like for some reason around 57, even Goshen Way, like it's triple N's. It's just not developed yet.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's probably family owned, like
Yeah.
large parcels.
And
that
a lot
just
of it's
haven't-
protected out there. Like my
It's
property
really
backs up.
flat.
Yeah.
It's really wet.
It is wet.
Right.
It is
So
wet.
it is hard to develop, but it'll happen. I mean, if you think about it, that's probably how From the Hospital East was at one point. All right.
I do understand your excitement about all of this because I was in such a bubble in my design studio in like private sector before this job, and like I didn't expect, and that's like the bonus of the job. It's like I didn't really expect to feel so invested in anything really outside of my job at the Mary C, but I do, and especially like working directly with Raven, and then of course you too, because we work on projects together. I mean, we literally have a drainage project going on here. We're about to get into all this exterior work here at the Mary C, which I think we're all very nervous about, but
Very.
excited too. Historical restorations are important, and it's really, really important to do it correctly. But all that to say, I wanted to ask you, so you're working on a lot of projects with the mayor right now, almost 20, but are any of them something you proposed and are excited to work on for some of the future development that you were just talking about? And if they're not, how do you go about proposing that?
So I did work in Biloxi because Ocean Springs didn't have an engineering department, and they have an amazing GIS system. And that's
Wait, a what system?
a GIS system.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So
Because I was coughing.
What is a GIS system?
so
Should I know what that is?
You probably should be in a digital world, but it's okay. It's basically a digital map of your utilities and features in your city. So anybody could pull it up, and like even a developer could pull it up and see, like, we have a sewer line here,
Okay.
or even like we're gonna do some surveying on some trees, live oaks. So like if you're buying a property, maybe you'll see that there's live oaks that are there.
Okay.
But it really helps with locates. It's basically, so locate, when you dig, I'm sure y'all have heard 811. You call, and all the owners of the utilities have to come paint on the ground. So if you see random paint marks, orange, blue, green, red, those are utilities that are underground. So someone's about to dig there, and they have to be aware of the utilities. So this map will help anybody go do locates. And
Have some in the water.
you may.
I feel another cough coming on.
Raven's having
You
trouble.
may have all you want.
I stole someone's coffee. We'll just edit that out. Just get it out, Ray. Back to GIS.
My eye is
system.
like watering. I was trying to listen.
Okay. So, but my ultimate goal is to create the system for the city. It would make a lot of things easier. It would relieve some of our public works guys.
Yeah.
Locates take a long time, and if you're somewhat off, it can cost you.
So you want to create a map, a digital map for the city. We don't already have one.
No.
It's physical.
I mean, like, we have a digital map, but I think it was like updated in 2015, but it's not like
Like you can't actually like go in and use it.
yeah,
and
it's more of a
move
CAD
things.
drawing.
Yeah.
It tells you about what side of the road our utilities are on.
Oh, jeez.
But
It's within 20 feet.
yeah. Well, we have very knowledgeable I'll call them veteran public works that have been here forever and just
Yeah, but we
know.
can't, like, we have to have a system that could be maintainable. So, yeah. I
And
see.
that's my huge goal
Yeah.
for the city.
Yeah, I love that.
So that would help a lot. That's my main. And so I have proposed to get GIS money, and we've had some come through. So that's exciting. It's gonna take a lot more than what we got, but we're working on it one step at a time.
Very cool.
But yeah, like I mean, I've proposed quite a few projects, but it's mainly to get knowledgeable about the system and to fix what we can fix.
And maybe even, like, creating a system. Just in general. So, like, there's database to go back to.
Yeah, so
That's
we're-
the whole bigger picture. Oh, that's a big job.
Takes a
Sometimes
lot
I
of
look at you
time.
guys and I'm like, I don't have their job.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
so
Okay, so I want to know more about this death program.
I'm
Okay.
curious to know what your favorite project is right now. 'Cause death is a real. I mean, we can't fight. We can't.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that there's just going to be like this education and conversation about death that's like, you're not at a funeral, you're just in a building talking about it like it's normal.
Yeah, so that class is probably my favorite project because it's a passion project for me putting those lessons together. But I think it's 8 weeks, possibly. It's for adults. And like I said, it's about memento mori and art. So each unit is a different project that focuses on, I don't know what that was.
That was Ariel.
Ariel, we can hear
Ariel,
you.
quit beeping buttons back there.
Bling.
Focuses on how death was thought about and cataloged in different areas of history through art. So, for example, like there's a section on Dutch vanitas painting, and there's a section on the danse macabre, which is, the dance of death in medieval times.
So you're having an art history segment,
Yes.
and then a project to go with?
Yeah, so each section has an art history section where you learn it like lecture style, but it also has a project that goes with it. So you learn different just traditional technique, like different art techniques, different materials,
Are
and
you
it
guys going to
attaches
be,
itself to the lesson.
Are you guys going to be using like pigments and things, or are you just going to use straight paint that we have in today's world? Like, are you going to be mixing pigments like they did
I don't think not in that
time,
class.
in that era?
Not in that class. No, we're not going to be making our own paint. But in my art and nature class, we will be making our own paint with different natural materials. We're going to be grinding them. We're going to make inks. We're going to do batik.
That's cool.
Yeah, smash it. We are going to.
part of this.
There's going to be smashing leaves onto handkerchiefs and stuff, making prints. All
That's
kinds
cool.
of things going on. That starts in July 10th, I think. If anybody wants to join that class, it's open.
Wait, so nature in July? Okay, is there going to be shade and is there going to be water? We can
It's going to be inside for the most part.
Okay, deal.
Is there gonna
Is
be
it any
shade?
age?
You got me an AC.
I couldn't. I was like, there's no way that anyone is going to want to be outside in July in Mississippi.
You are smart.
Your facts.
Yeah, I mean, there's the parts where you go
You are
outside,
facts,
you do
Sarah.
most of it inside, and then you take it outside for the sun and some other things. But there's one plein air section.
Raven, what does plein air mean? Go.
I don't know. PLEIN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it means. I know how to spell
Sarah
it.
Harris, what does plein air mean?
I don't know. I couldn't even spell it.
I love it.
I'm not a speller.
Sarah Posey. Tell them what plein air is. It's really fun.
Painting in nature. It's French. It's what the Impressionists did a lot of.
See, I knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Just
but
like
I knew how to
going
spell it.
outside.
My first thought was
painting.
like how it sounds like painting in the air, like painting outside.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at you,
In
because you're an
plain
engineer.
I think it's
Air.
I guess it's
Plain
on plain
air.
air.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
That's probably not even how you fully pronounce it. I spent months in France doing that, and I don't even know
What
how
do you
to.
mean you spent months in France? Why are you talking about that?
Oh yeah, I did. I lived in Provence for a while doing on plein air.
How old are you?
23? No, I just turned 24 last Wednesday.
Well, happy late birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
Belated
birthday.
Thank you.
24? Man, so accomplished and like poised and professional.
I don't know if that's
I
true.
was that way. I think I'm going downhill though as I
Yep.
get older.
I'm
What?
Because you're turning 33.
Yeah.
Sarah Carcass is turning 33. I had to tell the kids.
Dun, dun. There should be music behind that statement. So, what did you do in France?
I lived in a little medieval stone hut, and I went around in the surrounding mountains every day and went and paint.
Did you make creature friends?
Did you have friends?
I had friends.
Why are we both like, did you make friends?
I did
Were they
make
nice
friends.
to you?
Yes,
Did
it
they
was.
have elven ears?
No,
I just felt like they would be fairies and things.
What?
I did have a friend who did do a lot of historical costuming, and then she transitioned into like fantasy costuming. So definitely had elf ears on her.
I knew it. I knew she had friends.
Not
with
at the
elf ears.
time,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh.
she lives in
would've been
Louisiana
cooler.
somewhere now.
You could have skewed your story a little bit. For me, okay?
Yeah, I should have just lied.
I should have just lied.
I'm a
Sarah.
bad influence. Okay, I'm stopping.
So the whole thing is the whole death class, which is called Seize the Day, is to teach you some art history stuff about death, to teach you some cultural stuff about death. Also, it's all based on Western culture, Western art. So that like if you did a global thing, that would take years, and
We should just start an art school here.
you know what? I was thinking about, my parents were like, we're going to move out of our house. And I was like, I could make it into an art school. And Escataba, I don't know if anyone wants to go to Escataba for
You
art
just do it
classes.
here
Or that, yeah.
because we like you.
Hello, I would like to start an art school here.
Hello. My name's Sarah Posey.
Look, the
I'd like to
great
start an
part
art school.
about this place is that like it's open to the community. The way our policy is, it's like ever rotating between partners, and it's working. Everyone's respecting each other, but like slowly but surely, it is becoming sort of a maker space as people are bringing in their equipment, and we're accommodating where it's safe, it's put up, it's kept up, it's maintained, all the things. Like, thankfully, we're in year 3, and it's working. Like, people are successfully bringing in a branch of their studio and like opening it up to the public, becoming the technicians of that equipment, and the public is able to be exposed to screen printing and stone cutting and bead tying and all the things. We're starting a digital fabrication program here. We've got all these art classes between you and Dana Brown.
I was going to say, I get to piggyback on her having a full studio in there.
Well, the point of that full studio is not her studio. She's
Oh.
put so much love into it, and so has the city. But that studio is prepared in such a way that like when another artist or instructor comes in to teach, like that's ready for them. And that's where like it's been such an easy transition for you to come in and have art classes for the youth for the summer. But Sarah Posey's bringing adult art classes to Mary C, which is much needed and it's very exciting.
Teens and
cool.
adults.
Do I?
Teens and adults.
Teens and adults.
Because I remember being a teen, people trying to teach me art, and I just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you
what I'm
have to
trying
have
to
any
do.
kind
with
of
my-
skills to go to these classes?
No skills needed.
No skills.
Don't you guys want to just hang out with her now?
I want to do an art
Yeah,
class.
I'm super cool. So
She's so cool. Look, before this, she goes, I think I'm feeling kind of nervous and I don't really want to talk. And I was like, this is going to be just a casual conversation. And like, look at her now.
I'm very
No.
nervous. I'm still nervous. This is just my
It's
facade.
like, these are the good nerves that like get juices running and spread good energy. It's the good nerves. It's okay if you mess up. We edit this.
That's the only reason why I'm not really nervous.
I
'cause It's
did-
not live.
Because it's not
the
live.
last thing I need to say about this class.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
it's
I
like,
keep interrupting.
at the end, you die
No, well,
And then we take you outside.
and bury you in the Mary C.
yes. You get
It's your full idea.
yeah, you get added into the archive with everything.
You are an artifact when you end this.
We mummify you for free.
I'm gonna get fired. Okay, what?
Um,
Tell what's the big?
The big picture is that
Yes.
at the end of it, hopefully you will have gained a sense of death positivity. And that's the whole point of the class, which is to not feel nervous about your impending mortality.
Figure out how to
and-
celebrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because life is kind of like confetti.
Okay.
Confetti.
Yeah.
Continue. I like this.
Well, all of our experiences are little pieces of confetti just kind of floating around with each other.
Oh, I like that.
And then they settle. And then they,
And never
And then they
looked at it
disintegrate
that
into the
way.
ground.
yeah. It's just like we do.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Well, so that didn't get morbid at all, but
It didn't. That was awesome.
Death positivity.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I
it's don't be scared. There's so many other things to be anxious about in the world right now.
I know.
Like, that's the least of your problems, honestly.
Well, you know,
Because
people
when
are
it
al-
happens,
people
what
are
you gonna
always
do about
asking
it?
me
Yeah.
like, "Aren't you scared to be in that building with those ghosts?" And I'm like, "No, no, no.
What
It's not
ghosts?
the ghost. We have like 3 ghosts here, and but like." I was like, it's not the ghosts you need to be afraid of. It's not the dead. It's the living that you need to be afraid of. They're the ones who can kill you.
That's like
Ghosts
The
can't
Last
kill
of
you.
Us.
They just go through you.
They just go through you.
They just go through you.
I haven't seen a
take
single ghost in here. I'm disappointed now.
I think there's a girl, a young girl. There's a man who is a maintenance man, and then I think the other one is a woman. But I can't remember what her whole role was. The maintenance man fell off the building. I think the girl just went to school here. Yeah, it's been proven. We've had
Zach Brown.
what
Oh, the
What'd you
ghost
say?
hunter.
Zach Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown, the
that was-
ghost hunter.
I thought that was a musician.
Oh, no. That's the Zach Brown band?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I might be wrong.
What am I trying to say? Supernatural investigations,
Yeah.
basically. We've had a couple of them since I've been here, and then there's been several before I was here that we still have some of the evidence from. Well, by word of mouth from Dr. Pat Pinson, but we believe everything she says. So, but it was proven with some of the investigations we had, and there was this whole like news report done on it last October. It was really good. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah, and if you do it again, please let me come.
They like to come and stay all night. So, I mean, if you want to have a slumber party with the ghost here at Mercy,
I would love to
Wouldn't
sleep
that
in
be
the
a
art
fun
room.
event?
That should be an
Events?
art. You should have an art class at night.
what if some things went down that we couldn't control? Like,
He said they wouldn't hurt you.
Like what?
well, they like me. I'm constantly taking care of their home, but I don't know about other people.
That's why you make him sign a waiver.
The ghosts
Like
don't
the-
care about a waiver.
Like the,
No, the
submarine
people.
that's down. Yes, I brought it up. I couldn't help it. It was an opportunity. They signed a waiver.
They did sign a waiver?
they paid a lot of
I
money
thought
for
I
that
saw-
too.
They paid a lot of money
They
for a
paid, what,
one-way trip.
$250 apiece.
See, she said it
What'd
too.
you say? Death trip? What'd you say?
I said they paid a lot of money for a one-way trip.
Oh, guys.
Is it though? It could just been your last, like, bang.
I mean, but are they? Is that
Kind of like
company gonna keep the money?
skydiving. How much
That's
do you
what I
pay
wanna
for skydiving?
Not $250,000.
Oh, 1,000. I'm sorry, I missed that one. I thought you said 250 a person.
Well, it doesn't matter when you're dead.
That's right. Can't take it
Do they
with
keep
you.
that money, or does it go back to the family? I don't know. It's-
I doubt it.
No, well,
goes-
if they
I'm
get,
sorry.
I mean, if they do end
we
up,
probably need to edit
get-
this whole portion.
I don't think we need to talk about
No, we're talking about current events.
that the guy the CEO guy is just gonna go straight to prison anyway if they do come out.
I think he's. Oh, okay. I don't think he's coming.
I don't either, but you know.
Okay, guys. Unfortunately, we have to end our show.
Oh, we got to end on a positive something.
I know.
Yeah.
So tell us about what y'all like to do to relieve stress. You like to dance? You like
Not going to submarine with 4 other people.
Didn't
Okay.
I say not break
Okay.
up?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I have an answer for this. I like to engage in frog time. So
Oh, I'm with you on this. Okay.
So when it starts raining and I'm stressed out, I go, and this is probably dangerous, but I go and I lay on the grass and I let the rain on me.
Yes, I have some friends who do that. And then I live out by the marsh, so the toads kick up at 6 p.m. I legitimately turn my TV off and just listen to them. I don't go hang out with them, but I listen to them through my glass garage door. I do like
It's
that.
both.
Yeah. And then my poodle, he ate one a couple weeks ago. And because he eats everything. And he started foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, they're
That's
bad
what
for-
happens when dogs eat frogs.
But he's still alive.
He's still-
But he did foam at the mouth because it poisoned him.
That's what it does.
I thought we were in the
Really unhappy.
positive.
Well, he's still alive.
What do you like to do, Sarah Jane?
To relieve stress?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know.
Your daughter's here, don't forget.
Yell at her, she said.
Well, you just got to get it out.
I feel like you like to sing in your car or something like by yourself where it's ridiculous.
You're probably right. We karaoke in the shop.
Nice.
I don't weirdly lately, relating to death since my mom passed away, which was 9 years ago. But for some reason, I do puzzles, and like nowadays it's on my phone, so
Yeah.
it looks like I'm on my phone all the time. But it's just a game. I don't know why puzzles help, but it does.
Kind of like
But-
your peaceful place to
Yeah.
go, to take your mind.
Yeah,
And to come in to talk to me.
Yeah.
Let's just put that.
and to come
Yeah.
to work to see Raven.
Exactly.
We need to start having coffee time in the morning before I come here
I drink tea. I don't have coffee.
or whatever. Just because I need camaraderie. I miss you guys.
Well, you need to come to City Hall.
I know. I will. I'll come more than on department head meetings when I don't really want to come. Yeah.
We're editing that part out too.
Carrie
No,
knows.
we're keeping that one in.
Okay,
right.
we need to end this. This was fun. See, 3
That's
Sarahs.
4. I'm Sarah too.
She's Sarah today.
Sarah 4.
Sarah 4.
Oh man, episode 10. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for all that you do for our city and for just your individual groups that you lead.
Yeah.
You're making a difference, and we've loved having y'all on today. On that note, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Raven.
And this is
City
City Culture.